Hello, everybody. I'm Kehinde Adenegan from Adeyemi College of Education, Ondo State, Nigeria. And I welcome you to the year 2023 World Environment Day. Thanks to all presenters, panelists, and moderators who have, at one point or the other, since we started the program, who had anchored the program. And thanks to Kiladejo, who just presented a fantastic artistic presentation, and the moderator. And now, for presentations, those who may have one presentation or the other, we will accept. And briefly, my time is between 4:20 p.m. UK time to 4:35, but because we had other presentations that lapsed into the last session, which is just for presentation time, and we will be glad to have other presentation. But I just have that Andrea Corres time supposed to be 4:20 UK time, or maybe there was a mix-up for our time, and now we want to bring a researcher, a great lecturer, and a renowned lecturer in person of Andrea Corres, who is from the University of Brazil, Catholic, Spain. Uh, Dr. Andrews Corres, you are welcome to World 2023 World Environment Day, and you are welcome for your presentation, please. We
Hello,
cannot.
good afternoon. Can
Thank
you
you.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sure.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to be here in this very special day for all of us. So yes, my name is Andrea Corres. In the Department of Pedagogy in the University of Rovira i Virgili at Tarragona, Catalonia, Spain. And I will present. Wait a minute, I'm going to. The slides, I supposed to upload it, or are you going to put it? How's sorry?
Please kindly take your
The
presentation.
the presentation I sent it to you, but I am I supposed to present it because it says
Yes, yes, make the presentation. Just use the presentation button.
everything is
Yeah,
there,
it's
right?
coming up now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So also presenting these results together with Gisela Sebrayan, and we are both part of this department. The title of my presentation is Sustainability Competencies Assessment in Primary Education, in Primary Current Practices and Future Pathways. So very quickly, as an introduction, achieving sustainability societies requires rethinking the content, the competencies, and purposes of education. And the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development contemplates this sustainable development goal that we are all familiar with. This work is it's aligned with the SDG for quality education that contemplates a strategy focusing on ESG and the acquisition of sustainability knowledge and competencies by learners. So here there's this challenge of operationalizing these sustainable competencies in practice that need to find appropriate pedagogical and assessment tools in different educational levels. So this is an important challenge. So we have this concept of sustainability competencies that are this combination of low knowledge, skills, ethical values, and attitudes that enable individuals to make a positive contribution to current sustainability challenges. So the absence of a comprehensive and agreed upon competencies framework on sustainability, this has led to the emergence of a multiple frameworks and definition. So here we have some recent development like the Green Competence European Lifelong Learning Framework, the Green Comp, that enables 12 key sustainability competencies in 4 areas: embodying sustainability values, embracing complexity in sustainability, envisioning sustainable futures, and acting for sustainability. In higher education, we can see that these tests or questionnaires are the most used or for this assess and yeah to assess this. But there is this lack of studies on primary education that we need to have in mind. So this is the gap we are trying to fill. So we have these 3 research questions. The first one is, what are the main characteristics of the scientific articles published on sustainability competencies assessment in primary education? The number 2 is, what are the different sustainability competencies assessment tools and approaches used in primary education? And number 3 is, what learning can be gained from the challenges and opportunities outlined by previous research focusing on sustainability competencies assessment in primary education? So very quickly, the methods. We use these preferred reporting items for systemic reviews and meta-analysis called PRISMA guidelines. The systematic review was carried during January through April 2023 using Scopus and Web of Science mainly, and also Google Scholar. And you have to write like a synthesis of the all of the documents that we first located, and then how we ended up with only 28. The inclusion criteria was the articles that we needed. These articles were published in English. That these articles describe competencies in sustainability or knowledge, attitudes, and other elements that are part of the definition of competence, and that these describe an instrument to evaluate those competencies in primary school students, and also obviously that it is not another systematic review. So, regarding research question 1, we find, as I said, 28 articles in total. Most of them came from Europe, then Asia, North America, Oceania, Latin America, and Africa. The type of educational intervention that some of them reported were like 6 were really focused on a single discipline, and 12 were working on an interdisciplinary intervention. 16 were using in-class intervention, and 4 articles on out-of-classroom instruction. Some pedagogical approaches that we found were experiential learning, hand-on learning, embodied knowledge, project-based approach, and participatory and action-oriented approaches. And also this graph that describes the years of the publication. We can see there's an increase after 2014. Regarding question 2, the research question number 2, here we have all of the assessment tools that we found. Questionnaires, as you can see here, was the most present among all of the documents that we found, but we also found other assessment tools such as focus group interview found in 12 documents, performance observations found in 7, and regular coursework it was found in 4, and drawings it was only found in 2 of these documents. So this is like a very big picture of the assessment tools and like the big characteristics. As you can see, regarding the assessment aim, most of them were using summative assessment. This is notable because some other research is saying that we should really be combining, and not only summative but also formative. Regarding the assessment moment, we could see here that some of them were assessing during an intervention, some of them pre, some of them post, and some of them the combination. And then the assessment tools we found. This is the assessment tools that we found, but how they are distributed among the 28 documents that we found. Regarding research question number 3, we found some similar limitation, such as an unequal gender representation, a small sample size was used, and possible bias when selecting participants that they already had favorable attitudes towards the environment. Some shared recommendations for improvement were also describe as the need to explore gender differences, expanding the sample, or incorporating other tools of assessment, and also conducting longitudinal studies to track participants' improvement. But more specifically here, sorry, I don't know what happened. These slides were moved because of the format, but I was just trying to quickly say, like, regarding questionnaires, one of the things that people found, like, that were opportunities, that this was the most widely used, and some of the things that were like not so good, let's say, when in their conclusions, that were that items were not adapted to the specific age of participants. Regarding focus groups and interview, they were seeing, some of the authors, that these were really an effective tool to measure competencies in sustainability, but also if the samples is really small, also the power to really see the competencies assessment is slower. No? Regarding performance observation, some of that said as a positive thing that this really enabled to observe and analyze different aspects of participants' behavior with even greater detail. But there's really a difficulty to measure each participant competencies development. No? Regarding regular coursework, they also said it was difficult to see more like detail when there is an absence of a control group. And also something to improve could be to conduct larger and more controlled trials. Regarding the drawings as an assessment tool, some authors said this was a good tool because it really allows children to express key elements such as their personal connections, emotions, and values with subjects such as climate change. So a very general discussion and conclusion is that this study has some very practical implications in terms of competences assessment practices and future research. There's also this need to a more robust approach to competence assessment that could improve the combining qualitative and quantitative assessment tools, not only one. And by incorporating data from diverse sources, this could allow to have a more comprehensive insight of competences development that could be achieved. No, this could mitigate the potential bias associated with the use of a single measure that also happened. So it is important to design and validate reliable assessment tools, especially. I'm sorry, there's a bubble here that I cannot see. Yeah. So this is really especially important to design and validate these assessment tools. It is especially important when this is adapted to low educational levels linked to sustainability competences framework, and also to measure its progress to inform future educational interventions, aiming especially at developing these conscious citizens in sustainability that we have been talking all day, no? That we need. Here it doesn't look very well with some of the reference. You could also write to any of us if you have very particular doubts. This is part of a larger project that is called EduClimate. That's from the European Union, and we will be really happy to hear if you have any doubts or comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for the nice presentation. And we have a question for you. And if you can see your screen, what are some of the current practices used in assessing sustainability competencies in primary education? The second question, how do these assessment practices align with the broader goals of promoting sustainability in primary education? And then the last one, in your opinion, what are some potential future pathways or improvements that could be made in assessing sustainability competencies in primary education? So you may just take the question one by one. I think you can see on your screen.
Yeah, I can see. Thank you. Um, so as I said, some of the current practices to assess these competencies mainly is questionnaires. Nevertheless, there's also bigger and bigger use of qualitative approaches, more like interviews on or focus groups, because it really, and for some authors also this was used as a complement. The other question of how do these assessment practices align with the broader goals of promoting sustainability in primary education? I think it is really about how these assessment tools are used to really promote like practical implications. For instance, if there is an intervention, like a pedagogical intervention or a pre and post test, because sometimes it is just like to develop this very specific questionnaire, for instance, and there's not really like an impact on the school. So it is really about the design of each of those of this research. And in my opinion, some of the potential future pathways or improvements that could be made in assessing sustainability competencies, I think there is this really big need to assess competencies in a complementary way. We cannot just go through a questionnaire, but we also need to look at how students are performing, look at how like different evidences of work that they are doing through the course. It is also demonstrating a certain competence, but also like very clearly understanding of what competences are we trying to assess, because sometimes it could be really broad and we are not really specifying what we try to look. So these two are the main challenges in my opinion.
Thank you so much for the answer. I think the last one you try to, in your opinion, what are some potential future pathways or improvement that could be made in assessing sustainability competencies, especially in primary education? Andrew, I think you can take the last question now.
Yeah, I think I already answered in the last that I said. Like I said,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You got the answer. Thank you so much, and we quite
You're welcome.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
I don't know if there is any question from the audience, and we're checking the YouTube now, uh, reading and seeing comments and appreciation of your presentation. Okay, I can see another question. Are there any specific tools or frameworks that have been developed or are being used to assess sustainability competencies in primary education? I think this is asked by someone from the audience, from the
Mhm.
YouTube.
Yeah, what we can find in the literature are some reviews of other frameworks that are more general of competences in sustainability for all levels of education. For instance, it's very sounding in the literature the Week et al. From 2011 work on sustainability competencies, but also the work of Rickman. So there are a lot of frameworks that are really general, sometimes very focused on higher education. And this is why we're trying to look at this systematic review to see if there were more specific literature on primary education. So my quick answer would be there's not very specifically, but there are adaptations on how we can measure those very general frameworks to this population.
All right, thank you. Very engaging and sound intellectual presentation. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Andrew, for this wonderful time and your nice presentation. Wishing you the best in your research and professional output. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy World Environment Day. Thank you. We
The same for
appreciate.
you and all. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, we will just show a short video from the Green Institute now, and before we will close this very session. And please kindly watch.
Hello, everyone. I am Adenike Akinshemolu, and right now I am standing in the middle of nowhere, a place untouched, undisturbed by human life. But do you know what still finds its way here? this single use plastic bag, this tiny piece of convenience that we use once and throw away without a second thought. Every day, thousands of these are discarded, ending up in places like this, or worse, in our oceans, our rivers, harming the life that exists there. And these bags, they stay around long after we're gone. This place may be empty of people, but it's full of potential. Every piece of land, every drop of water is part of our planet's intricate, beautiful life cycle. And every plastic bag we throw away is a disruption to that cycle. So what do? Well, let's make a choice, a conscious, deliberate choice to break this chain of disruption. Instead of using this, what if we used a cloth bag, a jute bag, any kind of reusable bag? Instead of letting our convenience become an inconvenience to our planet, let's reduce, reuse, recycle. You know what? Let's refuse. Let's make every day a day where we consciously choose to say no to single-use plastic. Let's give places like this a chance to stay pure, untouched. This World Environment Day, my message is simple. Wherever we may be, no matter how far from the reach of human life, we have the power and the responsibility to beat plastic pollution. Let's keep places like this free from our discarded plastic. Let's choose a sustainable future. Let's choose our planet. I am Adenike Akishemolu. Beat plastic pollution.
Thank you for watching, and this is thank you for watching, and we quite appreciate everyone for this wonderful session. And I want to hand over this session to one of us who will take the closing section, but I will just, in the background, just show a video. You is just going to be rhetoric, just asking you a question. What will you do? And what will I do? I have come here, and with so many plastics, what am I going to do to all this? You can see now, if I haven't taken much of this and I'm already taking this, how do I dispose? And remember, this year is BPP, beat plastic pollution. And I have all of this. I haven't taken this today. Where again will I dispose? What will I do to it? And when she's making her final remarks, I'll just show that underneath. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that challenge, Dr. Adenigan. And it's good to be back here. I hope you've all had a very lovely day celebrating World Environment Day and reflecting on this pollution crisis, plastic pollution crisis, but also listening to all the wonderful things people are doing, the research, the artwork, and all that. My answer to Dr. Adenuga is this is what I am doing, So I have this bottle with me and I try to carry the water along, wherever I go, which means I always have a bag. And I try to make sure it's not a plastic bag, especially not a single-use plastic bag. So with that, I say thank you very much to everyone. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your contributions to the questions, to the comments. And before you go, if you don't mind, I would like you to just put in the comment section what you plan to do going forward. What is the commitment that you are making to be the change to beat plastic pollution? And with that, thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you very much. And I hope that all our plans to be the change, all our commitments to beat plastic pollution come to fruition. With that, happy World Environment Day once again, and good luck. Bye bye for now. Thanks from everyone. So, I think it's been a wonderful day. We thank everyone who's been a part of today's session, from our moderators to our distinguished speakers and panelists, every one of you in the audience who have sent in your comments, your questions, your suggestions. Thank you very much. Dr. Deniga asked the question. He said, what will we do? What will you do? So I'm saying this is my answer. I have this bottle with me. I take it all around with water in it to make sure that as much as I can do, I am not using single-use plastic bottles for my drinking water, at least. I also make sure I carry a bag that I can use over and over again. So I hope that we can all make a commitment. Every little step counts. Make a commitment to beat plastic pollution in your immediate environment. And I hope that as we leave today, whatever commitments we make, whatever actions we take, will add to addressing this plastic crisis and become, a big dent in the plastic pollution problem that we have. So thanks to everyone who's been here today, and we look forward to seeing you next year at the next World Environment Day, celebrating the gains, from now until then. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day wherever you may be. Bye for